Still haven't got a notification. Hey, Rachel, and yeah, you made it firstest. And all my wrenches out there are seriously zero, zilch, nada, none. None. Zero. Zilcho. Please. There's nothing we can do about it. No sense talking about it on there. The end. I like it as much as the next guy. Not fake news stuff that was going on in the other chat either. AC 103. Ooh, Ted, you might want to fix that. Yawn. Yeah, whatever. Mr. feeds his dogs bacon. What'd y'all do today? I know what I did today. I know I started this because BA ran late. I liked it. It was good. That was a really good chat. That was a good stream. I like how Sippy lets us know it's time to go. She just sticks her finger in his ear. And that ends him every freaking time. Did you put gates on him, Chipper? Asking for a friend. His wife temporarily likes you again. Oh, that's right. Y'all's get home schedules no longer coincided. So was she having to get out and open those herself, eh? I canned venison. Finally did it. I didn't video it. I mean, it was, you chop it up, you put it in the oven, you get it to where it's almost cooked, you put it in the jars, you add boiling broth, put the lids on it, and run it, 10 pounds of steam for 75 minutes, and then you let it cool down and you take them out. They're canned. And for all you people that tell me to keep looking for Parlor, can't get it because I got an Android phone. So can only hope so. Actually don't like the way pressure canned meats, the pressure cooked meat turns out. I think it makes it rubbery. No, we just stay inside. I canned some deer sausage a couple of years ago. Need to use all that up. It I think it tastes fine or whatever, but it's just like any other meat. Whenever you can it, the texture gets a little off. Yeah, I'm shovel snow. We don't never get enough shovel snow anyway. We have, but we just still don't shovel it. We got a good snow this last time. That was actually really good snow. Everything out there is still wet. Then we're going to get more moisture. I'm actually hoping it dumps a lot more snow and stuff on the high plains than it's supposed to. They really, really, really need the moisture. Caramel thing. Those are instead of the chocolate ones, they're the like white cake or whatever with the tan frosting. It's a ding dong, which is caramel. They're pretty good. I just take it out. I'm the only one that eats venison in the house, so it was put up same as anything. If I know I'm not going to be able to eat all of it, then I put it up in the longest form of storage possible. So I actually have backstrap in there thought out, and I'm going to I'll do the same thing with it, but I think I'm going to put it in quart jars instead of pint jars, and basically can roast. I'll go ahead and roast it and then put it in there. I'm trying really hard to cut down on the sweets. Doesn't work. Confession time. I've got semi-sweet chocolate chips on my desk, and I've been popping 2 or 3 of them in my mouth every so often today. And I forgot all about having that. I got a bell pepper in there for potatoes. Hey, are you back in Colorado? Dior? See, I don't know about bratwurst, man. I want to try to do some dry canning, but let's see. I think I want to try it with, believe it or not, I want to try it with some corn. Regular meat or whatever, I'm not afraid of, but here, let me go get some. I'll show it to y'all. Okay. Hey, Corsair trainers and Jack Mayoof. Oh, I forgot to put the lid on it. I'm just joking. It's venison. Smells like glass. Not a whole lot of fat in that, is there? That, what you can see, that doesn't even cover the whole top of it. It's just right there at the glass. There'd be some lean stuff, and I trim the fat off of it. The gamey flavor that a lot of people don't like about venison is in the fat. So I've got I could do this many jars probably 3 more times. Because that's what the canning book said to do. If you sterilize everything and then you put the cold stuff that's not whatever in it, then the stuff you're putting in it's not sterile. So why sterilize it? Anyway, but if you put it in the jar, if you cook it before you put it in the jar, then it's hot because you take it from the oven to the jar, and then you pour the boiling broth onto it. Put it just, if everything's hot when you put it in there before you put it in the canner, you're basically, the reason you cook it first is basically you're just sterilizing, you're just making it safe. Because I mean, the last thing you want to do is for this to turn off bad. Then you open it and make everybody stew, and then send everybody to the bathroom. You can do this with anything. You can do it with, whatever's on sale. When I don't know if y'all's does, but our store still has 2 for 1. And the cool thing about this is, you open this, you put it in a pot, you fill this back up with water twice, put it in there, fill this up once with rice, put it in there, turn the fire on, and you've made meat and rice. You got to do is add a little bit of seasoning to it. And, I actually have a canning blue book, and then I have the canning book that came with the American cooker. That canning book was published in 41, I believe. And the blue book said you could do it with raw meat, but then you had to keep it under pressure for 90 minutes. Had to be 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. If you do it this way, it's 10 pounds of pressure for 70 minutes. That's 20. You save 20 minutes per canner that way. That's a lot a day. Because if you're doing it this way, then you can actually prep the next set of jars while this one over here is pressuring. You're not.
Couldn't you do it raw?
I did some of it raw, and I didn't like the way it turned out. That's why I cooked the rest of it. It's actually a lot less hassle if you cook it. If you boil the chicken and then debone it, it's a lot less hassle than trying to debone it raw. I just followed the instructions. And this, I mean, it said like I said, the blue book says you can, but I was like, I can do it for this other way for, I mean, it was 20 minutes less in the pressure cooker. And, I'm the one buying the electricity to keep, or if I was running the gas stove, the one that's buying the gas to keep that pressure for 20 more minutes, or
If it's pre-cooked and you're not wanting smoke to draw attention, you could just eat it cold, couldn't you? If it's already pre-cooked.
yeah, this is, and I mean, after you can it, it's all, everything after you pressure cook it. Even if you put the meat in here raw and then can it, it's cooked. Either way is fine.
But I'm saying, say it comes to a time. I mean, the reason that you put food up is just in case SHTF.
Yeah, this is SHTF
Okay?
food.
So in SHTF, if you're really not wanting to create a campfire and put out a bunch of smoke and smell, you can open a jar and just eat it.
Right.
Because it's already cooked.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Um,
Now, you don't eat while you're canning. You eat before you can, Chipper.
chip right out. You don't cook it all the way. You just get it hot enough to where you don't have to worry about bacteria being on it. You're making sure it's just the way the book made it sound. You're just making sure that you're just being really, really careful about the salmonella, or whatever. You can do it the other way and just leave it in the pressure cooker for longer. Um, I cooked all of the venison in the oven at the same time in 20 minutes, then put it in the jars and canned it. And, by pre-cooking it, I saved myself 40 minutes of cook time.
You can do it either way. You can either put food up raw or you can put food up cooked. It's a personal choice.
And I'm not saying that it matters whether or not, I know where they're coming at now. It doesn't matter if you can it start with raw or if you cook it first. That's not going to change the texture of canned meat, for crying out loud. I made one statement about the texture in my sausage being off when I canned it. I will send you a jar of the freaking sausage if you don't believe me. It's grainy, and it's not like that before I can it. Trust me. Yes, by cooking it, I saved cooking time. I would have had to have pressure cooked the canner longer, okay, by 20 minutes each time, or while I am heating up the water to sterilize everything and preheating the water in the canner, I've got and I'm not clock hours, day hours. I saved myself 40 minutes today.
While the water was heating up.
While the water was heating up while I was getting ready to do all this other stuff, I'm already cooking the meat. So I didn't have to leave it in the cooker so long. It's not that hard a concept. I was here. It worked. It worked out fine. I don't know. I turned the oven on to 350 whenever it dinged. While I turned the oven to 350, started dicing up the meat. When it dinged, I started sticking the meat in there. After I had it diced up and I stuck the meat in there to cook, I turned the fire on underneath the boiling water and the canner. Then I sterilized my jars and my lids and all that stuff, and I checked. The meat was changing colors. I took a pan out. I started filling jars. When they were full, I put the broth in there. put it in the canner, put the lid on it, set the timer when the pressure got right. The meat that was in the oven, it was put in there in stages. It wasn't all at one time. The one that was ready, I took it and put it in the jars and put the rest of the boiling broth in there. And then I took and had to make some more boiling broth because I didn't make enough. And then fill those up and then charge the canner again. But instead of just running the canner for 2 periods of 90 minutes, only had to run it for 2 periods of 70 minutes. Because while I was doing my prep work, I was pre-cooking or preheating the stuff going in the jars. Yes, I put salt in there. This isn't a how-to, whatever. I've showed y'all the book. It's really, you can buy it on. I know. They're just trying to aggravate. Mrs. said, y'all better not be trying to aggravate her because she will come to this. Oh. Yeah, that's when that we were talking about the propane tanks or whatever and BA's deal. My mom lived in fear of the 20%. Because when the propane tank got to 20%, that means she had to come up with the money from somewhere to get propane put back in that thing. So we didn't waste propane. I think that's where I learned that in the wintertime you kept the house 55, 60 degrees and just wore clothes. Probably didn't do it right, of course, sir. I followed the directions in the little book. Oddly enough, that's the same book my mom used to use. It's not the same one, but it's the same. I mean, I remember it from a kid, being a kid. She had a bunch of canning books, actually. Hey, South Florida. And I did screw up the peppers. When I canned the peppers, or pickled the peppers, they're still good. Well, I need to bring some of those out and eat them. I'd hate for those to go bad. They're delicious. You don't eat so many of them, though, or, well, they are a digestive lubricant. I just threw an American cookbook away from 1941 because apparently there was a leak in the storage building and it got ruined. So. These are bread and butter fool juice. They're not really hot. A lot. And then we tried to grow more peppers this year. I'm glad we canned all them peppers last year. We can get a single pepper this year. Well, we got a single pepper. Hey, Bitty Boo. Never any luck making like regular pickles though. Can pickle okra. I can pickle peppers.
What kind of seeds? I don't want like volcano peppers.
Mrs. said, "What kind of seeds?" Because we don't do hot peppers, man. We don't. That's just we don't. We take the seeds out of our poppers, and if they're too hot, we feed them to family. We grow the Fuji jalapenos because they have the flavor. They taste like jalapenos, but they're not hot. And it's kind of funny. You can make poppers out of them, and people will scarf them.
No, I like jalapeno.
Yeah, and that's the only. I mean, I like jalapeno poppers. And that's the only time I like eating jalapenos is when they're stuffed with cheese and wrapped with bacon and stabbed to death with a toothpick.
I cook with jalapenos. I just take the seeds out.
Depends. Some jalapenos are too hot. Uh, like those people that like have jalapenos on their plate and eat them like they were celery. That's you need help. Wish it worked that way, Chipper. I'd be set. That's the one. Last thing I need is for my diet to have me spewing out the back end. If they're legitimately mild, man, that we go for that. But really don't enjoy. But don't.
I like peppers. I just can't eat
Yeah, it's like I mean we both love raw onion. We just can't get away with eating it anymore. Hey, Kraken.
the bigger a-hole you are, the hotter peppers you can grow.
Figure AO, you are the hotter peppers you can grow. Is that a true statement?
Yes, CJ always grows the hottest flipping jalapenos there was.
But I think he used to go out there and cuss his plants too, though. And see that eating a ghost pepper and riding a bull, man. Those two run right along the same IQ level right there. To me. Um, No, I'm not interested in it. See, I do like chili bikinis, and they're really hot, but the hot doesn't last. You eat them, and then the hot fades. The hot really doesn't stick around long. TikTok is a reflection of degraded society. The end.
I didn't know what it said or what it was about. I just saw the word, the very first word on the screen.
Yeah.
Can't say certain things about COVID. You can't say that word.
Yeah, probably so. I like Tic Tacs. Tic Tacs are good. A sample pack of seeds.
We sent Rob those sweet.
He didn't share, but Rob's like that. Rob's stingy. He's a very greedy person. He's got really good land for growing a garden. He just don't have any water. Or he needs some,
Mr. Wes, I'm sincerely asking for your utmost permission to join me on your live stream. So that means
Okay, Dior, here's the deal though. We are not talking current events. None of them. We're not talking 2A. We're not talking nothing like that. Matter of fact, if anybody brings up short, stupid, retarded video channels again, we're probably going to boot that individual. So, yeah, we just, no. My email, my mailing address are in the About Me section. You want to talk about that stuff? Write me a letter, drop me an email. We'll get us some. But yeah, plain lack of sleep. Yeah, it's just natural state of thing. All right, okay, I'm gonna trust you because I mean I'm
they
past.
demonetized last night's stream.
Yeah, they demonetized last night's stream that fast. Just made it all the way to the end, and then boom, they flagged it at the end. But they just demonetized it. All we have to do is say the wrong word on here, and they will kill the whole channel. My channel's big and might have enough numbers to where I've got a bullseye. So
They're not big enough to escape.
yeah, but not big enough to escape it. So let me send you an invite. We are just chatting about prepping the. I hit the wrong damn thing. You can do that all night long. There's nothing they can do about it. not throwing away, what is this now, 5 years? 5 years worth of work to, so somebody can be like, man, he fought all the way to the end. What? Fought what? But see, y'all get, if we had rain here, we'd do great. We've got the sun. We just, if you've got 14 hours of burning hot sun, and 10 of that's over 110 degrees, plants just don't do, man. I was wondering if we put in a mister, if, well, there we go. There's yours. If we put a mister in on some of the stuff, if they do better.
I'm not getting feedback on my mic, am I?
Well, now we can hear you though.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I figured out what's going on here. There we go.
The pressure canner I used today was the oldest pressure canner we own. And it doesn't take any rubber gaskets, nothing. It's the all-American canner. It's a bevel metal to metal fit. You put it in there, and it doesn't take very much to seal it off.
Yeah, back to the other stuff about what not to talk about. I suppose it's not a good idea to start talking about trucks either.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about trucks either. That's like, I mean, I'm not a truck guy. And when the chat goes to trucks, it completely lives with me. So and I'm not going to stand over here and talk to the camera when everybody else is talking about something completely different. Shit, I'll just turn the thing off. Go do something else. I go watch, what do you call it? The Sound of Music or something.
I was going to say last night, I couldn't believe it. Like yesterday morning, I started over there in Cypress, Texas, over there by Corpus Christi. And wouldn't you believe it, 11 hours of driving, over 600 miles later, we were still in Texas.
Yeah, it takes a while to get across Texas. You could spend your lifetime driving Texas roads and not make them all. I have lived in this county off and on for 28 years. And I have not been on every road in this county. So, hey, Tibor.
Yeah, it is a completely dwarfs Colorado.
Anonymous, this year we fought everything. Gopher took out every potato we had, and it was like cartoons. We had corn, 2 foot tall, and then we had holes where the corn was. literally dug up underneath it, never broke the surface, and pulled the whole corn stalk down the hole and ate the whole freaking thing. They probably ate 20, 30 pounds of potatoes. And it's just new potatoes. We were banking potatoes this year. I did everything right. I got everything in the ground early, did everything right, and then boom, gophers out of just everywhere. And I started looking. I'm surrounded by nothing but push-up piles. The entire pasture looks like little mini volcanoes of gopher death. So I'm going to do that thing with the propane and the electric striker, and I'm going to blow up the pasture. I've been researching it on YouTube, man. It's a legit thing. And then you hit the little button, and 200 foot of dirt jumps, and little dead animals come shooting out of holes.
Nice. I've heard people getting like prairie dogs, and like they're impossible to get rid of too.
Well, my cat was doing the best she could. She'd kill 2 or 3 gophers a week, but for her to be successful on the gopher hunt, she had to find a fresh gopher push-up, and she would literally sit there behind it, wait for the gopher to push the pile up, and she would pounce on its back, kill it, and drag it off. But, I mean, she would have to kill 3 a day to make a dent out there.
Yeah. My old dog, back when I lived out in Missouri, she used to hunt gophers. Oh, by the way, hello, Tibor.
What's Rachel need? Hey, and look, everybody, now y'all know who AA is. I wish you hadn't have done that, Anonymous, because Biddy Boo still hadn't figured you out. Yeah, but you can't drive across Alaska. Alaska's not like a real state. It's like a swamp that's frozen.
One time out of sheer boredom, I decided I was going to calculate the longest road trip that a person could possibly take, here in the North American continent, and basically had them start at like Anchorage, Alaska, and end to like the southernmost tip of Panama Canal. And the trip was like over 10,000 miles via car.
I forget how many miles it is from El Paso to Texarkana.
Hey, I was in Texarkana like 3 days ago.
Well, Texarkana to El Paso is the 2 furthest points across the state. Then you go north and south.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Corpus Christi all the way out to Stratford, Texas, because that's where I ended up stopping last night. And my driver, my co-driver and I, we changed seats, and then we kept on going. I thought maybe we would at least make it over to the panhandle of Oklahoma on US 287, but that didn't even happen.
Night Bent. Hey, Aaron. But, yeah, I mean, growing a garden sounds really cool and all that. And people are like, I've got seeds in my Apoco box or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, those ought to work for you.
The Apoco box.
No need to worry about anything like gophers or ground squirrels or woodpeckers or
Really, woodpeckers?
Yeah, little bastard. they start pecking on. They get down there and start chasing beetles or whatever. They're like, oh, wait, there's
Okay.
food in this.
And that's when the garden gets tore up. Okay. Yeah. I remember as a kid living out here, we used to grow a garden, and because, like I said, this area, it's it's a high desert environment, so it's really, really difficult to grow things out here, and the soil is extremely sandy. Like there's dirt mixed in, but there's like a lot of coarse pieces of gravel and sand. So it's really difficult to grow stuff. And we had a heck of a time trying to keep the rabbits, the ground squirrels, and even the robins. They'd come in and just destroy the garden.
Yeah, I had a problem with blackbirds one year eating my lettuce. It was weird. The blackbirds would get into the lettuce and they would eat the end of the leaves and then right down the center of the lettuce leaf.
Hmm.
I thought it was rabbits, but my wife assured me that it was blackbirds. Pretty sure she was lying to me, but I'm not going to call her out on that because reasons.
Good night, Anonymous.
See, AA, the come to find out, she thought rabbits were cute and she was feeding them by the garden. So, whoops. Yeah, whoops is right. I love this little knife. I don't know if I've showed y'all this. It's one of those knives that you can't open.
Because it's rusted shut.
No, it's magic.
Hmm.
You have to know how to do it. It took me about 8 hours to figure out how to open this stupid knife. Because I thought it was like the one BA showed where you do the mashing the blade or whatever, but it's not. It's got a button on the back.
Huh.
So you just pull the button and the knife pops open. Little booger's still sharp too.
It's almost a borderline switchblade.
This was her dad's. So I mean, this was in her dad's stuff.
Now I've got a couple of old knives from my grandfather on my dad's side. They're really badly rusted. I had them sitting in a toolbox, and that toolbox was sitting in the back of my truck back when I was in Connecticut, and I think that's how they got all rusty. A lot of my tools got rusty, which is kind of weird because I got a camper shell back there, but somehow water got back there.
This is from Killeen, Texas. Should have known that already. Seems like. Yeah, if I got back behind the wheel of a big truck, I'd have to do local. And I got offered a couple of times to go into driving in the oil field, but I mean, you're looking at 70, 80 hours a week, man.
Yeah. I won't do the oil field. Like I've thought about it, but I've talked to more and more. I've talked to people that, had gotten out of working in the oil field. One of the guys that I was temporarily co-drivers with, he's saying, they shut the oil field down. The price per barrel isn't, they're not making what they want. And of course I've heard that before, but he's telling me, it's like I did very little driving, I did a lot more like labor intensive stuff. I don't know exactly what specifically, but it sounded like he was dragging a lot of hoses and stuff.
Yeah, you drive the truck and you have to run your own hoses unless you got a swamper. If you're doing like running an acid truck or a frac truck or something
That's
like
what
that,
he was doing. He was acid truck.
you've got to run that heavy iron and crap, and that's no fun. They have crews for that junk, but it's really good money. After you get all set up and stuff, you're on standby most of the time. You're literally, you show up, you work for a couple hours, and then you're on your ass for 10 hours.
Huh.
You get paid for all of it. Same rate.
Yeah.
They get done. They break everything down. You put everything up. You drive back in. A lot of times they'll send you to the next place or whatever. And there for a while, they had trailer houses and stuff out there. They had to quit that.
Yeah. My old job, we had a guy who quit. He ended up working for the oil fields up in North Dakota. I don't know how it worked for him. I don't know. Like, I just know that he said that he'd be gone for like 3 weeks or something like that, 3 weeks or a month, and he'd be back for like a week. So
That's I could have gone and drove in the Dakotas. It could have made 150 a year, but would have been, it's 7 days a week. You know, I'd have been driving 7 days a week.
mhm.
So, you know, granted, I would have only had to done it for about 3 years, but not interested. That's a young man's game or a guy that's broke into it, and
Yeah.
I'm neither. So,
I
the
like
guy,
my job now.
he literally doesn't know how to stop now. He's 70 something.
Oh, geez.
He doesn't know how to not be in that truck driving.
Yeah.
He will, when he climbs out of that truck and stops driving, he will die. He doesn't know how to retire. He spent his entire life working to pay off the perfect piece of property for him and his, and
Sorry, Ted, I missed that. Soak what in vinegar?
your truck, and it'll shrink.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
Oh, probably the knives. That's what he's probably talking about, those knives. Yep. All right, gotcha. Should have remembered from Aid's video when he was restoring those axe heads.
Yeah, I found an old axe head. I found at a junk sale. I don't have any
Yeah.
idea how old that thing is. Found it in the back when I was cleaning up. I'm like, I meant to make a video on this.
I've been meaning to make a video myself. I was actually going to do it today. Of course, I didn't know it was going to be snowing. I was going to do a response video to Aid because I've got an old axe head that I picked up off the side of the road back when I was up in Connecticut. It was pretty badly rusted. I managed to burn out all the old wood, the remnants of the old wood that was left of the handle that was stuck in the axe head. I was going to take it on the bench grinder and clean it up, take all the rust off of it and
Hey,
repaint
put
it.
out a video I don't know about, or is this that one from before? Because I had to force my YouTube to give me a notification for BA's Doomaflicky today live stream. Checking the news. Sorry. Just in case anybody wonders where I'm at and why I'm knocking, because I'm in the news.
Man, a person being in their 80s and still driving truck, that's incredible. I don't see myself, I mean, as much as I like my current job, I don't see myself being able to do this forever.
Too many people. When the cat come in?
I just went hard about
Okay. Too many people let their job become their hobby. I'm really glad I didn't stay in the brick making business much longer because I was getting to where I was like brick, brick, brick. Everything I talked about, I wanted to talk about bricks. I'm like, no, I don't want to be that guy.
Would you start cursing somebody if they brought up cinder blocks in the middle of your conversation?
Cinder blocks aren't brick. Those are cinder blocks.
I know. I was asking the question, though.
People are like, what about those one bricks that are made out of concrete? Those are blocks. I call them bricks sometimes too, but they're not.
I call all of them bricks. No, it's a single bit. It's nothing fancy. Single bit axe head. That's actually all my axes are all single bit.
People retire, like real hard workers. If they retire, they die.
Yeah,
so if they keep working, they're not going to die.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's what they do. I don't have to sweat that part because, unlike a lot of guys, folks, me and Mrs. S have deliberately. We have spent 30 years tying our lives together. We haven't allowed ourselves to live separate lives from one another. You know, she wasn't the soccer mom and I wasn't the welder. Her friends and my friends are the same people. We didn't run around, if if we had a married couple friends or whatever that got a divorce, we cut both of them loose.
Huh.
Yeah, they could not be in the house together. She lives there, he lives in the truck. The end.
Yep. Yeah, the Kraken. I'm gonna have to go out and go shovel some snow here as soon as it stops.
I never understand that. People are like, "Oh, it's going to snow. I have to shovel it." It'll melt if you just leave it the hell alone. Huh?
I just don't want it to turn into ice.
Or does it? Does it only melt in Texas?
Yeah, it'll melt here, but there are days where it's like out of nowhere you'll get a cold snap, and when the snow's like partially melted, and especially wherever you've had tire tracks, drive up onto the snow and pack it down, it partially melts all that, turns that into a nice slippery sheet of ice. It's perfect for falling and busting your butt open.
Besides that, we have a dirt driveway. We don't have sidewalks and.
Yeah, well, they do the same thing on dirt too, if you get enough of it.
Well, yeah, but the key to that is you just put your hands together and say, "Lord, please send the chickens something to eat because I'm not going to go out there and bust my butt so they can have grain." Amen. Trust me, they know how to fast. My chickens be religious fasters.
You guys don't really get all that much snow anyway, do you? You guys get like what, a couple inches here and there, and it's there for like a day maybe?
Way it's supposed to work. We got we got 6 inches of accumulated snow, but it snowed for 40 something hours, man. The first 12 hours it snowed, it just melted. So there's just all this mud.
Yeah.
There's snow. And then it got colder. So the ground was frozen underneath the snow. And I couldn't get the dog. The dog didn't go outside and pee for 2 days. And then when she did go out there, I was like, "Are you ever going to finish?" And it was funny watching her try to pee. She's like, my feet is cold. She kept one foot off the ground. She had one back leg on the ground, two front legs on the ground, the other one lifted, trying to make sure that snow did not touch where she was peeing from. And it was quite comedic. Then she saw me looking, and she looked over her shoulder at me, and she goes, personal space. The same look on her face, like, this is awkward. Would you please stop staring?
It always cracks me up when the southern states, like, I know Texas is not a quote unquote southern state, but it's south from me. So it always cracks me up when they start getting snow and like people, like, I'm not laughing at the fact that people get hurt. I just laugh when it like shuts the state down or people panic. It's like they don't know how to drive in snow, or they don't know, hey, maybe it'd be a good idea to get new tires this year. Maybe I might need a little bit more than a minimum of 2/32 inch tread depth so that way I can drive around in the snow safely.
All those people that got stuck over there on I-10 or whatever, all they had to do was watch the weather. If they had waited, the highway guys would have cleared the highway, but they couldn't clear the highway because there was traffic on it.
Yeah.
There is a mountain pass over there. It's relatively steep. It's not a high mountain, but it's, when you're a flatlander and you're not used to it, and it, the people were driving on it, and it was cold enough to where they were running over the snow, and they turned the snow into ice, and then that was the end of it. And nobody stopped and pulled out cables or anything and put on their tires. Everybody just kept on going. We'll just drive slow. It'll be fine. That works great until one guy
starts turning sideways.
Yeah, and then everybody's sideways. You just stay home. You call your tia and say, Tia, I'm not coming for the tortillas. I just can't do it. And you stay at home. That one guy that, it's such a shame them poor people was stranded on the highway. The weather report bullseyed the time that blizzard was going to hit. Bullseyed it. They nailed how much snow they were going to get, when it was going to start, when it was going to quit, and that nobody needed to be on the road. And all them people got caught on the road right when they was told not to be on the road.
Yeah.
No sympathy. Guess what? They told us that we didn't want to be out. Guess what we did? We went to the grocery store.
Oh.
We came home. We stayed in the house for 3 days.
You didn't go out and go see a movie or anything?
No. We didn't do anything. We stayed in the house and watched it snow. And then we stayed in the house and listened to the snow slide off the roof. Because I went out and brought firewood in, and we had the house nice and toasty, and the snow was sliding off the roof. And
do you have a metal roof?
Yes.
Okay. I guess that's one plus side of having a metal roof.
And that's, it's nobody else. I wrecked my first car in the snow, and that was it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just not going to drive in that crap. The first time I got snuck in the snow, I literally went downtown because I needed something. I pulled my 64 Impala. It was a beautiful car. Up to the curb and got out and went inside and did what I needed to do. Come back out, got in my car, put it in reverse, and my car goes me because I parked on somebody else's ruts. I was on the ice.
Whoops.
I wasn't going anywhere. So
that's when you get a second person. When your tires are spinning, you have them push your car sideways, the back end of your car sideways, to get it to go onto the snow off the ruts. I got stuck. Last time I got stuck was over 2 years ago. One of the blizzards we had. We had drifts of snow coming up over the road over here, and of course I couldn't see the drifts because they were just short enough. You know, the snow was deep enough, and they were just short enough that they didn't really stand out much. And it was just because these snow drifts formed just behind the guardrail. And of course, I ended up high centering my car, and I got stuck. Some dummy was coming up behind me, and he was going to try to pass me on my passenger side on the shoulder. I already told him, like, don't go there. Like, I was already getting out of my car, told him, don't go there. You're going to get stuck. I'm high centered right now. And he still kept going, and he got stuck. I was like, I told you not to go there.
Well, we don't get drifts down here so bad. Up there on the Cap Rock, they do. That you'll be driving down the highway, and next thing you know, there'll be 3 foot of snow across the highway.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd that come from? Oh, the wind put it there.
Yeah, the winter. That was some nasty winter we had back in 2019. That was literally the first time I could legitimately say I was driving in straight up whiteout conditions where I couldn't even see halfway across the hood of my car or pickup truck.
I just hope this doesn't turn into a winter like it was in the early 70s. We just don't need another one of those.
What about the storm of the century from 1993? I was only 2 and I wasn't living here at that time.
I don't know from squat about no storm of the century.
Yeah, there's that.
The news calls something, and that's not what it is. I mean, it's and besides, that was last century. This is a different century.
Yeah.
The centuries, we started a new century in 2000. In 2000.
Dang. Billy had to take a chainsaw out and cut the ice off of his roof.
Okay, where it snows a lot, why do they build flat roofs? I mean, why don't y'all do like the people in the Alps and stuff and have like really steep roofs?
Like A-frames?
Like in Switzerland and stuff, why don't y'all have like roofs that make sense for snow?
Because it's really difficult to do maintenance on those roofs. You need special climbing equipment to get over if you have to repair some shingles.
So it's because y'all are scaredy cat. I mean, I've never understood that. A ranch style house in Denver, Colorado. I'm like, that can't take no snow load. You get 3 foot of snow, you're gonna have to get a new ceiling.
That's when you have your roof trusses built out of like 6x6 timbers.
It's just when it gets steeper. My roof, if I got enough snow on it, I can literally clear my roof from the ground. It's steep enough. I can rake the snow off. I never have to get on the roof. I don't like to walk on my roof. I would walk on it when it had painted metal on it. This galvalume stuff, it'll send you to the ground that fast. It's downright scary, actually. And that's why the snow comes off so easy. It's got that mirrored finish, which reflects a whole lot of heat in the summertime, which is why we got it. So
I'm thinking about living in a Quonset hut. That's what I'm thinking about living in.
Catching up on the chat, sorry.
Yeah, I am too.
And actually, I actually have enough room to, if I wanted to, I could actually put another room in the top of my house because I have a steeper roof. When you put a flat roof down, you don't have that space, and it increases your cooling costs exponentially. I mean, the cooling costs on a flat roof are insane, or because there's no, you can't insulate it well, and you can't have airflow. You don't have any airflow through your attic. You need airflow in your attic in the hot environment. So,
who needs airflow? Just fill the whole thing up with insulation. I'm just kidding.
What is one of those? What are you asking, Aiden? Oh, a Quantum hut? It's a round barn.
Yeah, it's an old military building. I believe the Brits were the ones who originally came out with like the first precursor of the Quonset hut back in World War One. I think they called a Nissen hut or something like that.
Yeah, the barn that fell down behind the house back there after we moved in was a Quantum hut. Yeah, it was a Army survey. It was a surplus Quantum hut.
I think a lot of them are. I know they were like a cheap way for the military to quickly erect basically some barracks buildings for troops to stay in.
They were a fast way to put up buildings. They could ship everything to location in flat pieces. Then when they got it onto location, they nailed the flat pieces together and bent it into the shape they wanted, and then started screwing tin to it. And it was a round top barn. I don't know how to spell it. Quantum.
Yeah, I think it's spelled Quanset. Quonset. Might be two T's.
Yeah, it's Quonset hut.
Yeah. See, I originally thought it was Kwanzaa hut, but then it's like, oh no, it's Quonset. Oh, okay, that's how you spell it.
I know a guy, he bought a big Quonset hut that was a warehouse, but it's had the seal cell foam on the inside of it and everything, and he's got the mesh and the rubber coating on the outside. Thing's bulletproof now, man.
See, I thought about burying one, like getting it completely in earth. I would figure that would make a fairly ballistically resistant structure.
If I was gonna do that, I'd get a tank battery, get a 310 or something like that, and dig a hole, build stairway down into it, pour the bottom of it full of concrete, cover it up. I've been in 2 of those. Those are the best things ever. Because if you put the concrete in the bottom of it and everything, you've got a nice flat floor or whatever, and then you can backfill the sides, pack in the dirt and everything around it, and then you can put 4 inches of concrete over that. The tank will hold it, and then you can cover it with dirt. And well, I wouldn't like try to make it all one pour, but anyway, you put the concrete over the still reinforced concrete over that, and then cover it up with dirt, and it's boom. A lot of the guys don't even do that; they just put the dirt over it because it's round.
Yeah.
So, but
you ever seen those Atlas shelters where they make those shelters out of those culvert pipes? I mean, I know the owner has, put out, basically put out, warning, these shelters are not water, they're not watertight. Do not try to bury this below water table or basically in a low-lying area.
yeah, there's some places you can't put underground structures or whatever.
Yeah, if you live out in Louisiana, like in New Orleans, you can't.
Well, there's places here. They built the golf course and put all these fancy little dams up and made all these water traps or whatever, and it raised the water table, and then they were going to expand or build a new hospital, and they went there and they started digging, and oddly enough, when they got down in the soil where they were level with the top of the water in the golf course, there was standing water in the holes.
Mm-hmm.
You think what is hydrostatic pressure, some shit like that?
I don't know what that is. You speaking some sort of college graduate language I don't understand?
They actually use that as an excuse not to build the hospital. I'm like, there's 4 inches of water in the bottom of the holes.
Now they're saying
6 to 10 inches of snow tonight.
Well,
Pour the freaking foundation. Or better yet, just close the stinking hospital. I hate this hospital.
Let's see. Somebody up here mentioned something about some people in the Smoky Mountains need to be airlifted. I'm trying to go back on your comments here. Tibor said that. And let's see, in 1996, I was feeding cows and bucking snowdrifts over the hood on a 4x4 Chevy in Eastern Oregon. That's Aaron Dennis. If that's all because of snow, that's some really nasty snow.
You never know when it's going to snow or when it's going to rain or when it's going to bleach out and be 1:30 now. That's better. It was supposed to start snowing at 1 o'clock this afternoon, but it didn't make it.
Speaking of
snow, past us.
When I was out there in Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas, actually just that southern portion of Arkansas over there by I-40, once I got pretty close to Texas, looked like they were going through a monsoon season or something, man. They're just getting all sorts of rain, like all the creeks and all the rivers are outside their banks, and like there was water like 2 or 3 feet above the actual road surface of the interstate.
Yeah, they've been getting plenty of rain in Abilene for the past couple of years and stuff. All the lakes that way are full.
We could use some of that.
Dry.
Yeah, we could use some of that. I'm always thankful when we get snow and rain. I'm just not crazy about having to drive in the snow. I'm always thankful when we get snow and rain up here because it gets so dang dry. We get all sorts of pasture fires and all sorts of wildfires out there in the mountains up in the forested areas. That's why all the national parks, they got signs posted you're not allowed to have open fires, charcoal grills, or anything like that. So anytime you guys see me doing a camp video, I have to bring a propane stove. Otherwise, I would do like a proper campfire. Yeah, I'll be back. Somebody's calling me. I'm gonna.
Uh-oh, it's just us. Now what do we talk about? Snow can be hard to deal with. It's just one of those things. I mean, and all the stuff we're talking about on here is, oh, this, that, and everything else. I mean, can you imagine if we don't have our trucks and our tractors and our snow blowers and yeah, you can do whatever here. You can do whatever you want to on your own property as long as it's not part of a HOA. An HOA is basically when you give all of your personal rights away to other snobby people.
And like state parks and different things like that, each one has their own rules. Some of them you can stay there for 3 days, some of them overnight only, some of them 30 days.
Yeah,
But if it's your land, it's indefinite.
yeah, and on your land it's indefinite. The most of your national forests and stuff, most, not all, you have to check on them. But it's 16 days in one spot, and then you have to move at least 150 feet. HOAs are going to be the death of the suburbs. They are going to create, I mean, HOAs puts a ring of death around a city or a community. It just does. Because you can only build a house like this that looks this way and is worth this many with this many square foots, and you can't have your classic vehicles out front. You can't do anything. This always has to look like it comes straight out of the brochure. All these things, and then you just build ring after ring after ring of that around stuff, and nobody wants to go inside of that ring to do anything anymore. So the houses just fall apart. There's one town I know of that I've actually considered going down there and buying up every vacant lot I get my hands on, because the town next to it stole all of its residents. So the property there is not worth anything in town. So all these houses are falling apart and falling down. If you could get 15 or 20 adjacent lots, it'd be a pretty nice piece of property. Yeah, but it only matters what's past that gate. Lubbock's got so many gated communities now, it's not even funny. It's just retarded. Oh, South Florida left. Welcome back, South Florida. With what they do 100 years ago, they put on snowshoes.
standard for Vatican City or you completely blacked out?
Who put that up?
No, I'm just saying. I forget if you can hear me, but the thing can hear me. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, is that, where'd you see that at?
I was reading on the computer.
Okay. Well, I've been checking the news because I saw a whatever about that.
The computer can actually hear me.
I don't think they could, but if that's a real thing, I'd like to know about it. Because we got better things to do than be on.
Top search, that's for sure.
My sister actually lives in Portland, Oregon. The Portland, Oregon area. There is a joke. My storage shed would go for $100,000. You know, if I put a bathroom in it, and I'm like, wow. Do I do any hunting? No, I'm a vegetarian, and I only eat asparagus. I'm just joking. I canned dead deer today. I was gonna try to can him alive, but he wouldn't get in the jar. Sorry, I was being sarcastic. Yes, I hunt every chance I get. Honestly, it's just I really enjoy it. I the what do you call it? I like hunting for poachers too, because I know that a bunch of the rules out there are bogus. But if it wasn't for people breaking the rules, you know, the ethical rules of hunting, we wouldn't need the rules. Well, apparently there is something going on. No, not yet. What we got? What we got? No, wait, I did get the thing. I didn't watch it though. I was in the middle of something when I got the um I was just in Walmart. They didn't have none of the Go Bangs marked down dirt cheap here. All the ammo's gone. I'll go in and check tomorrow. If they got everything on clearance, might as well pick something up. I have absolutely no need for another anything. I want a 12 or 20 gauge pump or 20. I want a 12 gauge pump, but that's for squirrels and doves. But yeah, Went bird hunting twice this year and saw one bird about a mile away. That was the wrong kind. After season closed, a flock of about 2 million of them come up behind the house. I would love to be able to shop somewhere besides Wally World. I detest the thought of shopping at Albertsons. In my town, I have two choices: Walmart or Albertsons. That's it. Something like that, though, you would have thought it would have been on the headlines if Walmart was going to quit carrying anything like that. And I can't see them doing that because they make so much money every year off of it. They make a massive amount of money off of their ammo sales. They may be getting rid of it. If they do, they do. I mean, can't afford to shoot sportingly anymore anyway. There's just, I mean, don't target shoot anymore. Can't afford to. When I'm going to target shoot, I go buy the ammo that I'm going to shoot that day or the next day. And then I put that up, and then when I get ready to shoot, I take the ammo out and I shoot it. Well, I'm not talking about the price so much. I'm talking about the concept of who they are and what they've done to the country. But the reason they got away with doing that to the country is because we wanted it. The end. I can get that for $1 less at Walmart. I'm not going to buy that off that SOB down at the local hardware. You know, the SOB down at the local hardware is trying to put 2 kids through college. He's been a member of the community since before you were born. You played football with his kid. Just making a living.
Yeah, the stores were quite low on stuff.
Yeah, the
Really
stores.
wasn't out of too much. They were just low.
They were just low. Then nobody was out of anything. It's here we're small enough. Everybody pretty much filled up already. So I don't know that we have to worry about too much. Well, I mean, here it was just low. There wasn't any bare shells anywhere. Again, there was the selection of canned vegetables was very thin. Um, but I mean, this is the world we're in. We can say, hey, we're not going to be a part of this and do something different, and yada yada yada. But if you're buying stuff online, you're the food we bought, we didn't buy it from Walmart.com. It was shipped to us from Walmart.com. That's how we found out you could buy it at Walmart.com. Walmart.com bought out all the stuff from the direct warehouse. They own all of Augustin's stuff. So even though Augustin's warehouse is full, it all belongs to Walmart. Well, if that's true, South Florida, I guess there was only like 4 boxes of shotgun shells left in that whole store. Um, but all the stuff that goes on clearance, the people that work here at this store, they'll buy that stuff up. Regular people won't get a shot at it. And that's luck of being on the inside, but
our Wally World don't carry it in the store.
yeah, our Wally World don't carry it in the store. Not the Augustin. You got to buy it on .com. Yeah, they don't have that here. We're in a very rural part of Texas. There's not even 10,000 in this town anymore, is there? Or they're right at 10,000.
We have one dug but not finished. Does that count?
Yeah, we have one dug out, sorta. It's not finished. Which I need to fix that. I was checking the topography at the Sasquatch's place. Depending on where the springs are, or whatever in that hillside, he might be able to do something pretty cool. Might actually see about building a spring house too. That digging that cellar through this hard pan around here. Everybody goes to that. I've got a video on my channel. It's how to dig a ditch as taught by an old man. The part of the ditch that I'm digging when I'm doing the video is after I've already got into the where the garden area is. You know, the one place on our property that has a little bit of topsoil. And that's all anybody can talk about is that there's no, anybody can dig in that. That's like sandy loam. Yeah, you can't shoot a YouTube video and tell a story while you're running a pickaxe. So, anyway, and I literally 30 foot back up the ditch was all pickaxe and rock bar for 30 feet, man. Because most of my property, you got 4 inches of topsoil and then 18 to 24 inches of hard pan and then hard pack caliche. It's insane digging. The hole, you got to be real careful about it.
I didn't prove that because he said ho.
Oh, the
On T-Force.
yeah, backhoe. Yeah, that's one word, Tibor.
Yeah, but he had it spaced out, so I had to approve it.
That's funny. I grew up in a village of 100 houses.
Well, what's post? Like 3,000, 2,000, something like that?
2,000, yeah. I mean, that's our excitement was going to either Slayton or the Post.
And it's fun to.
It's fine, Tibor. She thought it was funny that it made her approve it because she was asking C103 if he had a hoe. All right, if you could get hoes to dig the cellar, that'd be all right, I guess. Be one way to do it. I guess.
Like more Hail Marys.
Yeah, more Hail Marys. There you go. Well, he was back and then he went away and now he's gone away and I don't know.
I'll be right back again. I'm going to go get a drink.
That's the dumbest damn question I ever heard in my life, Matt.
That wasn't a question, Wes. That was a statement.
No, not you, Dior. Mad Hatter.
Oh.
Nowadays, isn't it rude to ask?
Yeah. Why is it any of your business? I'm whatever I want to be right now. I think.
Right now, you might be a dragon.
Yeah, right now I self-identify as a dragon. You drank a 12 and become a small pond accidentally? Yeah, that'll happen. Did you hit the water table, C103, or a water line? I've made a lot of small ponds, well, actually water fountains, but that's because I hit a water line, which is totally different.
Oh, just rain.
Oh, just rain? Yeah, that'll happen. That's why I want to do I want to do it in the side of a hill or mountain or whatever. Cellar shack house thing, whatever. I've been looking if I could find a a mountain to buy in West Texas, we'd do it. I'd want the start of a draw in it. I wouldn't want the draw to run through it. I don't want the start of the draw. That way, I could catch the watershed where it began, not where the flash flood would be going so strong that it would be wiping everything out. And then potentially have some natural water catchment that would bring in the game.
All right, sorry, what did I miss?
A lot of stuff.
I bet I did.
C103 and T-Bor are setting up some kind of chicken ranch in a hole with water in it. West Texas and East Tennessee are not the same area. C103. I mean, it's like half a continent apart. Good try, though.
It's like comparing Texarkana, Texas to El Paso.
Pretty close. No, it's further. But the property I've been playing on, because it's so dang cheap. Oh, not West Virginia. No, hell no. Them people don't even know which side of the country they own. We would be an hour from El Paso on that property, or any of those properties. Actually, we'd be about an hour from El Paso. We would be driving actually further than that to do our shopping in Fort Stockton. So, just because I don't want to go to El Paso, people die in El Paso a lot.
Really? I thought all that stopped once they built a barrier between like Juarez and El Paso.
No. No. It's not the illegals you got to worry about in El Paso, dude. It's the legals that work for the guys on the other side of the border.
Oh.
There's a lot of good people in El Paso. Hey, Digger. But, yeah, El Paso sucks.
But you said the land nearby is pretty cheap, though.
Yes, it's because it's in the middle of the desert. There's no electricity, no running water, no firewood. There's absolutely nothing to make it worth your time. But
I suppose it's got to be dry enough that you don't have to worry about being killed with like 85% humidity down there. If it's like desert environment like you're describing.
Well, isn't that the Sonoran or something like that? Isn't that what they call it? Sonoran Desert?
I thought the Sonoran Desert was in California. Maybe I'm
I'll
wrong.
have to look it up. It's north of the Rio Grande and south of the Guadalupes.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of people making a go of it over there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to be in some area where I can grow stuff, have a garden.
That's the only kickers. We would be very dependent on a very spread out gardening system.
Like you'd have to dig a well if you're living in a place like that. You need to have a well.
Yes, and it had to be a windmill, so I'm looking at $10,000-$15,000 just for the pump system.
Yeah. I'd be looking at the same thing, a windmill.
Lizard said it's great if you want to farm safe brush.
Like one of those, what the hell they call those dang, I'm trying to think what the hell they call them. Those aero motors, is what they call them, the aero motors or the Dempster windmills.
Aero motor, yeah, that's a form of windmill.
Yeah. Dempster, I think, was the other one.
Yeah, there's plenty of sagebrush and mesquite, and there's some yucca over there, and they have some cat claw and some cactuses, and lizards and jackrabbits and antelopes, and they have some deer.
As long as you don't come around me, Mad Hatter. Because when it collapses, there ain't gonna be rules.
Yeah, that's I wouldn't try to grow that stuff around here, Mad Hatter. That's we're not
I'll shoot first.
tolerant of wacky backy. Just you got the glaucoma, just stay at your house and glaucoma yourself on into little IQ-lessness.
Yeah. No, this glaucoma, recreational glaucoma.
Yeah, no, we don't. I don't approve of recreational glaucoma medicine.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not crazy about it over here just because of the homelessness it brings. I don't like it. So many homeless people. They're making their way out where I live, where you don't ever see or hear them. Like I don't even know where they'd stay. There's not even a homeless shelter here. It's so cold, and where I live, it's so windswept. Especially during the wintertime. The wind would kill you.
Yes, Digger, they're mule deer. There's even the odd elk and aoudad over there. The elk step in the mountains, though. Some people's elk got away, and they're there now.
So I was wondering if I could do like what they do over there in England and like start up a deer farm and just raise wild deer, wild, animals that would normally be classified as wild animals, and just have them so that way I can like shoot them whenever I want to shoot one or something like that.
We knew some people in Texarkana that had a white-tailed deer farm. Yeah, until those guys realized they had that herd of antelope over there, and they kept watching and waiting. And they fenced them all into their pasture. That the last free roaming herd of antelope in the area.
There's tons of antelope out where I live, like tons of them.
Dior's, when I was 19, there was a lot of antelope over there. Y'all don't have tons of antelope anymore. Before, when I was a kid running, when we take trips over there, we would see antelope running they would be literally mile-long herds of antelope.
Yeah.
Now, if you see 60 or 100 antelope in a herd, you've seen something. If people are like, there's no reason for none of them there hunting regulations or any of that other stuff. Oh, really?
I wonder what the permits are required by the government in order for a person to be able to catch a few of those wild animals and try to domesticate them in like a farm setting and just raise a whole bunch of them. Because I do think about, in the days when, SHTF is supposed to happen, I worry about those animals being hunted out of extinction just like they were during the Great Depression. Like they're borderline hunted to extinction.
You need to be able to grow vegetables. You need to be able to have some small furry animal that, and if you eat clean, you better figure out some way to grow hay and feed goats or cows or whatever it is, because there's not going to be no Tractor Supply Company or Bubba Joe's Feed and Seed. You're not going to be able to grow your stuff. You better be growing your own hay.
Mm-hmm.
Either that, or you're going to have a lot of explaining to do when you're like, you know what? If I tape that squirrel's toes together, then
Read 1 Timothy 4:4.
yeah, just that you either got to keep all the laws or you don't need to keep any of the law. That's in James. There's all kinds of stuff. We can fight that. Well, I don't even want to go there. We're not released from doing the things that it tells us to do to be righteous in the Old Testament, but we don't have to follow all of the don'ts.
Yeah, like the no consumption of pork.
Yeah, but we can't make our own holidays like Valentine's and Easter with Easter eggs and Christmas and all that crap. We can do Christmas, but we can't do Hanukkah. I don't think so. We do Easter and Halloween and Thanksgiving, but we can't do Sukkot. I mean, come on. Sukkot's like the coolest freaking holiday ever. And God said, you shall take your family to the bushes and camp for 1 week. God said, you don't take you a vacation. Once a week. You're going to take a week every year. Why? And you can go out there and it's okay to drink beer and have barbecues every night. I mean, what's wrong with that holiday? Why would you trade that for a bunch of people getting together in your house and bitching about whose casserole was the best?
Can't wait till springtime comes. I tell you what, I feel like a different person when I'm out there, out in the mountains, just camping out there. One of these days, I'm gonna do probably like a multi-night trip where I'm just staying out there for many nights in a row. I really do wish though I could do a campfire.
I wish I could have done. I wish YouTube had been around when I was in my 20s. Man, I could have made such great videos. I'd be just banking it on all my old videos right now, because the stuff that people are putting on YouTube, like that guy that goes around stealth camping and stuff in urban areas, I'm like, dude, that was just every day for me. That was just how I got around. And when he does the bridge thing, he does it wrong. But I mean, I can't tell him that because I mean, it's his video.
This isn't a guy that's like van life, is he? You know, where
Oh,
he
not
lives in.
van life. Now van life, he does a pretty good job too. But it's a really nice van. There's an old guy that does a van life too. And I've thought about I can pick up a van, seriously. It needs a dadgummit. Not a voltage regulator. But anyway, it needs an ignition module. Pick that van up for $800. And I could just live in it. I could just cruise around in my van. Just, after I showed back up after 3 months, explaining to my wife where I was at for 3 months would be hard to do. Honey, I just went fishing in 20 different places. Honest. She'd be like, not using the laundry machine.
I had one guy at my old job. He had this nice Chevy Astro van that he basically gutted out like the interior on the back half of the van, and he turned it straight up into a camper. Did a decent job. I mean, it wasn't like perfect, but he did a decent job for what he had available. And he'd drive out in the mountains and go camping in different places.
Yeah, Carol, you be careful if you got to drive in. How much longer you got on your shift? Oh, you're driving home? Yeah, she probably does. She does, let's see, Halloween cards and Christmas cards, Thanksgiving cards. Valentine. Did she do Valentine cards? Valentine cards. Valentine's like the stupidest holiday ever. I wanted my Valentine to get me a giant octopus, but she said no. She said I didn't need a giant octopus, and I am still.
And I don't know why anybody would want a giant octopus.
Because it's a giant freaking stuffed octopus, honey. Who wouldn't want it?
Who would want one? Dork? Love you, honey.
Love you too. That big eye. Man, this thing that it covered every other stuffed animal in the box. And it came back the next day. I was going to get it, and it was gone.
Thank goodness.
I had slept on that thing, man. I had thrown my pillows on the ground. I've been sleeping on a big old octopus.
You didn't need it because I kicked you out of bed. You'd have had your own bed with that octopus.
Me and my octopus would have made out just fine.
Make out with an octopus if you want to.
That was mean. You went to dark, bad places.
That'll help you.
See, now I'm gonna give me an octopus. I'm gonna go octopus hunt. Thank you, dear. Ow. Got something in my eye. It's a tear from octopus. See, Rachel would have wanted a giant octopus.
Yeah.
See, I'm not by myself.
How do you suppose they're going to bring it onto the submarine there, Rachel?
Stick. Hey, little feller, I just need you to wrap around this and hold on tight for a few days. Be okay till he gets hungry. Yummy, yummy, yummies. Can't you just go to the beach and catch one, Rachel? Seriously, I mean, I see videos of people walking up on octopuses on the beach all the time.
We talking about giant octopus. Or we talking about those giant squids. You know, like
No,
what the sperm whales eat.
The my brother and them found them all the time when they were in Guam on the beach. Little octopuses.
Hmm.
The octopuses have a beak like a parrot, man. Yeah, I wouldn't want to let one bite me. I want to go to the Gulf of California, sort of, except for the part where I'll be surrounded by Mexico, and go squid fishing.
Where are those giant squid located at? Are they located off of like coast of Japan? I'm trying to figure out. You know those ginormous ones, like what you'd see in like oh, what the heck was that? That one book was Captain Nemo or something like that.
Those are, I think they're in the northern Pacific. Northern Atlantic, I don't know.
I know the sperm whale eat those. They're like those octopus, or sorry, not octopus, those squids are so big, they're like what, 20, 30 feet long or something like that.
I think I read something where they spotted or found a dead specimen of one that was like 60 feet or something.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, when they say giant, they mean giant.
I mean, even just 20 or 30 feet still big.
I just want to catch one of the ones that they have down there in off of Baja Coast or whatever. The things are like
Yeah.
2.5, 3 foot long, man, and they're supposed to be insane once you get them hooked.
I'm curious to know how those are supposed to taste, if they taste any good or not.
In the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm talking about any of them squids.
Well, the reason I want to go to the Gulf of California is because there's too many of them down there, and they're supposedly really easy to catch right now.
Huh. So they like a nuisance like the flying carp in the Mississippi?
Pretty much.
She just wants a tiny dead octopus in a globe.
It's just weird. Why? I'm asking for a friend. Man, I don't know. I ain't no squidologist or whatever.
Squidologist.
Octobiologist or whatever. All I know is I seen it on the Natural Geographic that they had some nice sized squid in the Gulf of California, and that their population, because of the increased water temperature, they had overtaken the other top predators and blah 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 blah.
Tibor used to use squid as bait to catch sharks out in South Carolina.
Oh, squid's good bait. That was our go-to bait down there in Florida.
I guess Rachel thinks they're cute.
Yes, people eat squid, honey.
Ew.
On the little suckers on the squid's tentacles, don't they have like little like serrated like teeth like bone or something like that, like shaped in like rings?
You take those off. Yes. I was eating octopus at the Chinese food place once, and they didn't get that off of there, and that was looking really gross. And then I was eating another octopus at the Chinese food place, and they didn't get the beak out of it, and that was really gross. And then I was eating another octopus, and they didn't take anything out of it, and that was like really, really gross. And I didn't eat at the Chinese food place no more. I like little octopuses. They're like cool. They look like a little flower that's been boiled or something. They're like with their little tentacles all curled up. I'm like, please don't eat me. And then you get them on, you put them on the plate. You get a bed of steamed white rice, and you put the little octopus on there with a little bit of sauce. Then you go there and you eat the rice, and you eat the little octopus. But when you go and it like explodes in your mouth, and you get all the octopus, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I've never sat down and asked myself, I wonder if I'm going to try an octopus. I think the answer's still going to be no for me. I'm willing to eat a lot of stuff, but I don't know. Octopus is not one of them.
That little gristle thing that runs through the middle of them, Tibor. I was watch YouTube, and I'm like, oh, this guy's doing something cool. I'm going to watch a bunch of videos on this guy doing something cool. And then I'm just thinking, I want to go do that. And I was watching a guy do the snorkeling for food or whatever. And I'm like, I want to do that. And I'm like, you got COPD, dumbass. You can't snorkel. So I guess I'm not going to do that. But the part where he walks around on the beach with his little shovel, I could do that. I could walk around with a little shovel. I just have to get to England. So that's probably not going to happen. A satellite picture picked up a squid fleet from space, also called a column. Oh, that's cool. You leaving, Biddy?
Is Aid still here?
I don't know what it is, Tibor. It's like I watched the guy clean him in that little piece of gristly looking stuff that's in the middle of him. I think it's like what's hold him, makes him the shape of a squid. I think without it, they would pretty much just be like a.
All right. Good night, Biddy Boo.
Floppy jellyfish.
Yeah, she's leaving.
You really didn't know what those little rings were that we got when we go to the butcher block?
I don't get them.
You don't get them, but us civilized human beings get them.
I don't know what you're eating. It's some kind of gross stuff.
We order appetizers, and we order calamari and pickled or fried pickles. She eats the fried pickles. Or fried zucchini or whatever. I love the little calamari rings, man. That stuff's the bomb. There's a lot of things that people don't eat nowadays that they'll eat later. I guess if you had octopus in a snow globe on your desk, you could have, I guess. That place used to sell, what were they called? Railroad ties? I love railroad ties, man. You ain't lived till you had railroad ties. Railroad ties are thick cut bacon, batter dipped, and deep fried. They're the best thing ever.
What I call it, the heart stopper.
Southern fried bacon. Who'd have thunk it? And that's gonna have to be the Rocky Mountain oysters. That's going to have to be an act of desperation, and they are going to be well done.
That's the only way I would eat them, is if they're well done. Those railroad ties you're talking about, though, I'd probably just call those a heart stopper.
Well, no, I called them expensive. It was like $14 for a tray of them.
Jeez.
We did not eat there very often. And then when that was when it was before it was Butcher Block. What was it then? Anyway, they don't even have that stuff there anymore. Oh, they do. You can get batter fried German sausage here. Those are really good. It's a sweet batter, and they dip it, and then they fry it a little bit, and then they dip it again, and then they put it in there, and then they fry it all the way. And then when you bite into it, it's like a pancake, but then it's got German sausage on the outside. It's like really good. Those will kill you. Pretty quick. We had one of those. My daughter had one of those chocolate fountains. We were putting everything in it, and we put bacon in it. I dipped bacon in chocolate. It was actually really good because they were being all snooty and stuff and eating chocolate-covered strawberries in front of me. So I ate chocolate.
I remember when Golden Corral first came out with those chocolate Wonder Fountains. I'm thinking to myself, boy, that's got to be really sanitary.
Yeah. I didn't ever use the chocolate fountain there, but the one here, the one we had at the house was cool.
I almost thought about one time going over to the Golden Corral and going over there and dipping other things other than like the marshmallows and the strawberries they put out, like bring over a steak and just like put it in the fountain and, and see what people's reactions are going to be. You know, it's like, oh, you're contaminating the chocolate.
Yeah. Was I Kirsten or Tiffany that went over there and put their celery in it? It's like, what are you doing? It's really good. Impossible.
It's healthy.
It's celery. Yucko. All right, guys. I am starting to get a caffeine headache. So
Take some Tylenol.
yeah, take 2 Tylenol and keep talking. Okay. I played a what? Who said that? I feel like I should know what that is.
I know what.
Well, I know what we call it.
But yeah, and I didn't even play those.
I mean, this is a G-rated channel. Please stop.
I didn't say. That just said I ain't eating it.
I like my chocolate. What? Just drink more caffeine. Yeah, sure, Rachel. It's it's just my heart. What the hell? But I'm not taking any more of those whatchamacallit, seizure meds or whatever for the headaches. It was.
Yeah, and if you're starting to feel cold, just have a nice big sip of vodka. That'll warm you right up.
It took 2 days for my brain to come back on. So, yeah, I'm not interested. And that may have been because I ate a grapefruit a couple of days before that, but I'm not risking it. Do need to take this stuff. So what do we switched from talking about? We're not talking about trucks or dogs.
We were talking about Quonset huts.
We're talking about flipping fried bacon now and chocolate. So
Maybe one of these days you just like do like a live stream and do like a silence contest so you can be, quiet the longest and not say anything and just see what the chat says.
there was a guy, he live streamed for 8.5 hours of the rain. It was just a live stream of the rain in his backyard. Just the camera was set there and he was live streaming, and it's still getting views on rewatch.
Huh.
It's crazy what people will actually tune in to watch.
I thought it was funny that High Desert Pioneer fell asleep in the middle of his live stream.
Yeah, T-Board, caffeine is actually what causes the cluster headaches. So, and I've been sipping the coffee, so I didn't have one. I mean, you have no freaking idea how bad a cluster headache hurts. I have a really high pain tolerance. It's insane how much. Well, I don't know. I may not anymore, but pain didn't used to bother me. I have been forced to go get splints and casts and stuff put on because I had broken bones. Not because I thought it was necessary, but because my either wife or somebody wouldn't leave me alone about it.
Like when you dropped that bar thing on your foot, broke your foot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right.
It was fine. I just loosened my boot and kept going.
Well, I'm going to be real. If you break your foot or any of your toes, there's really not a whole lot a doctor can do other than, like, grab a hold of your toe and, like, does that hurt when I do this? It's like, yes, it does. Yep, it's broken. It's like, yeah, thank you.
They charge you $450 to put a cast on it.
I thought most of the time, in a lot of those cases, they can't really put much of a cast on your foot or on your toes.
It's called a walking cast or whatever. It was just, it transferred the pressure from like trying to walk with my foot. I was basically walking on my heel the whole time.
Huh.
It took the pressure off I broke the bones that hold the toes and everything, the rest of my foot. It was pretty bad actually. But they didn't set it or nothing, and now my toes are crooked and my foot's all jacked up.
Yeah.
So,
thankfully, I can say I've never broken anything other than a couple toes in my life. Oh, and I also broke my nose, but that was because some kid sucker punched me.
yeah, Carol, why are you driving so far? I've broken my toes. I've broken my hand. I've broken my fingers. I've had a couple of hairline fractures in my arm.
Yeah.
Broken ribs more than once. That's the pain. Man. Stuff like that.
It hurts with every breath you take.
As I see people on TV, they're like, he's got a couple of broken ribs, and then the Superman hero of the show gets up with the tape on his chest and gets out and then gets in a fight and kicks Superman's ass. And I'm like, dude, if you sneeze right now, you're going to hit the ground and whimper like a little baby.
On top of that,
you're
running
the most important thing on your body. Don't break a rib, dude. Ever.
What about running the risk of one of those broken ribs becoming dislodged and puncturing a lung, I'd also be worried about that. That's why I wouldn't be like running back into a fight like in those
Yeah.
movies.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, my wife's very flexible. Her bones used to just move around. Oh, you had to. Okay. Well, be careful. Hey, Al, you got here just in time for. And they're trying to get me to stay on here, but it's not going to work. I'm a grown ass man, and I can end my live stream if I want to.
No, don't do it, Wes. You got so much to live for. Just take some more caffeine and some
Yeah.
Tylenol to counter the headaches.
Take 2 Tylenol, drink more coffee, and ignore the blood pressure machine. You'll be fine. You can't leave us. Besides, I want to go find out about this whole Vatican thing. I can see what's going on.
Vatican thing.
Yeah, apparently Europe's blacking out or something. I don't know what's going on.
Blacking out? What? What? They're losing power?
Ooh.
Losing power?
Yeah, Pakistan and the Vatican are like having to use candles or something.
Huh.
So I'm gonna go find out about that. See if it's the apocalypse or if it's just that thing where they tried to use holy water instead of a paycheck to cover their light bill or something. What happened? Sister Mary, you were supposed to pay that. So
yeah.
The most hated comedy album ever for my mom was the Cheech and Chong with the Sister Mary elephant.
C103, thanks, and see you later.
Yep. See ya. C103, everybody. You got any parting gifts of wisdom you would like to give these people to yours?
Man, thanks for just throwing me on the spot like that. I don't have anything right now. I really don't. Just don't. I don't know. If you don't have to be out when there's bad weather, don't be out when there's bad weather. Unless you're like me and you get paid, you get paid to be on the road, so then you kind of have to be on the road.
And he would also like to inform all the homeless people that no, the truck drivers are not leaving you yellow Kool-Aid. Love all you people. They'll
Later.